Pauly. I'm the host of That Halloween Podcast, and we have a Twilight trio with us tonight. Let's bring up Kellan Lutz, Ashley Greene, and Peter Facinelli.
What's up, guys? This is night 3. We've been having a blast. Creep It Real Festive. Who's having the best time?
Creep it real. Creep it real.
Keep it what?
Gotta creep it real.
Keep it real.
Keep it real.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. We love doing these panels, and we're excited to hear the questions. And thank you guys for coming out here and just showing your support for this awesome event and for us.
You guys
folks.
having fun? I don't know if we're gonna be as good as the Grinch show. I heard the Grinch show is pretty good. I told my son when we were coming up here, he's like, "Are you gonna sing?" I said, "No." So I promised him. I said, "Mama." Oh. So there you go. Told you, Jack. I sang for you.
Awesome. Well, one of the cool things about Twilight that I think a lot of people forget is that by the time the first movie came out, all of the books had already been published. So I'm curious, before any of you got involved, were you familiar with the books? Were you familiar with the fandom that already existed for Twilight? Let's start with Kellan.
I think Ashley helped educate me on that there was a book and mini books.
She
Like,
read the book to
books,
him.
right?
She read the book to you,
Yeah.
right?
I'm like, can you record this and make an audiobook? I wasn't the biggest reader until Twilight came out, and then I had to study my character. I read it. I'm like, this is really easy. Like the reading, the writing was really easy to grasp. And then I was like, all right, I'll get New Moon. And it wasn't in that much, so I went 3 eclipsed him around. But I was really, really happy that Breaking Dawn came out after we had shot Twilight. So I was like, yes, I get to shoot more Emmett stuff. And then, well, I was really, really excited because after we did New Moon and Eclipse, we found out that Breaking Dawn was greenlit and that they were going to break it up into 2 movies. And I was like, yes, more Emmett, because I love my character. But I love all these actors to work with. And the books they're really, really great. And Midnight Sun's one of my favorites because I get to hear more Edward lines and the relationship between all the family members. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a little bit
Ashley,
of
let's
a
move
different
that
experience.
mic up if you can.
I know what
Can
I'm
everybody
doing.
hear us okay?
Okay. So I had a bit of a different experience. I came in pretty early on while they were still auditioning Bella. And when they sent everything out, everything was very cryptic, and it was like girl 17, and that was it. And I was kind of like, what am I supposed to do with this? There's no script, there's no breakdown, and you kind of want to be informed as to what they're looking for, what you're going to do. And I asked my agents if they could get any more info, and they said, oh, well, it's a book. And as soon as they told me that, I ran out and I got the book and I read it without sleeping. I feel like a lot of people kind of did. You read it in a day. It was just to Kellan's point, it was such an easy read, and it really immersed you into this world. And I fell in love with Alice. I understand the love for her, because I think Stephanie did such a beautiful job creating this character, and she really spoke to people who kind of walked to the beat of their own drum and had this authenticity that I really appreciate that not all people have. And so anyways, I fell in love with her and with the whole story, like many of you did, I think, and was kind of just, without understanding what manifestation was, I think kind of manifested the whole thing. So I was just oh yeah, no, I'm going to be a part of this world. I am meant to play this character. It doesn't matter that I've barely done anything in Hollywood whatsoever. Twilight was one of my first jobs that I ever booked, and so I'm so grateful that it worked out the way it did.
I forgot the question.
I'm sorry, I talk a lot.
No, were you familiar with the books and the franchise that already existed before you got involved?
So,
Do you need help?
Are you okay?
John's gonna come help you. No worries.
there you go. Hello. Mama! So, so my agents called. They said, do you want to do a vampire movie? I said no. Because I was thinking Bats and Caves. Not there's anything wrong with that. There just happened to be at that time a bad string of vampire movies at the time. B vampire movies. So I was no, and they said, well, this director's directed Catherine Hardwicke, and I was oh, I like her. And so I said, maybe can I meet on it? And they said, the audition's tomorrow. I said, is there a script? They said, no. I said, but it's based on a book? And they said, yeah. So I ran to the bookstore, I bought the book, And then I was just gonna read like, Carlisle's role because I was like, I got to audition tomorrow, so I was like, flipping them through to Carlisle. And then I started reading it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And so I went back and read it from page 1. I stayed up till like 2 o'clock in the morning reading it. I had bloodshot, like red eyes when I went to the audition. They're like, you're perfect. And but the truth is, I tell this story sometimes because it's a fun one. I was on a list. I was like, when you're an actor, if you do a good job, they're always like, you're on a list. It's a magical list, and you never know how many people are on it, right?
It's a short one.
So they're like, it's a short list. So you're like, well, 2 people, 5 people, nobody ever knows. And so I would call and say, so how's it going? And they finally told me like a week and a half later, 2 weeks later, they said, you didn't get it. And I said, what? And so I was like, oh man, I thought I was good for that. And so I was at an audition the next day after that, and I was there was a book. It said 100 years of vampire making in Hollywood on the coffee table. And so I started flipping through it, and it was like Bela Lugosi and like Interview with a Vampire. And I thought, man, the universe is really rubbing it in. I didn't get this movie, but I had such a good time reading with Catherine that I thought, you know what, I'm gonna steal this book. No, I bought it. I wrote down the name of it, and I bought it, and I sent it to her, and I inscribed it. I said, Catherine, sorry it didn't work out on this one. I hope this book inspires you to make a great vampire movie. Maybe you'll be, make one of the 100 best vampire movies one day, be in this book. And so she got the book the day that the actor that they hired, because they thought I might look too young next to the cast, so they hired somebody 10 years older than me. And then his deal didn't work out, or I don't know if his schedule didn't work out. But the day they said that actor's not going to work out, who do you want to go to? She got my book. So she said, what about Peter Facinelli? And they said they like me. And so I always joke I bought my role for $29.99. That's the moral of that story. You got to buy your way into Hollywood. And so, but the full circle of that is about a year ago, a fan came and said, hey, will you sign this for me? It was a book. It said 100, years of best vampire movies, and Twilight was in it. So I bought the book and I sent it to Catherine. I said, we did it. Full circle.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So since there were the 4 books already, were you all signed to like a 4-picture deal or anything?
I don't think the last
There's only
the
3.
last
The
one was
first,
three.
there was only 3 at the time. So we signed on to a 3-picture deal.
Okay.
And then they wrote the 4th one. They split it into 2 movies.
So were you like contractually obligated to the multiple films, or I'm
No,
sure you
but
were
at
hoping
that
the
point,
first one
like we
hit.
were so excited to be part of
Yeah.
something that was so special that we signed on to do the last 2.
One of my favorite things about Twilight is the fact that like Summit Entertainment was not this huge, massive studio. It was a small studio, and when it hit so big, I was like, yeah, it's like the Cinderella story, the little man winning sort of thing. And so I'm curious, you weren't doing a huge studio film. Were you shocked by the hit that it became, and did it affect your day-to-day life after that first one came out?
Are we starting with Kellan?
Kellan, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was an independent movie. The budget wasn't crazy, and I kind of like those ones because you have a little bit more freedom, and then you have an amazing director in Catherine Hardwicke who can make a lot happen with very little, and it's very unique. And to be in her head and just listen to a director who has a vision that you might not understand sometimes, and then you see the movie and you're like, wow, good job. But yeah, post the movie, we had a couple of Twi moms who would come on set, and we'd have no idea what Twi mom was. And I remember one time Nikki and I met one. We thought she was a producer. She had her baby with her. She's like, "Can you hold my baby?" I'm like, "Yeah, I thought she was a producer." So holding this baby, and then we get called to set about 15 minutes later, and we can't find the mom. We're like, "You take her, Nikki." "No, you take her, Kellan." But yeah, we thought, we had no idea. We're like, "We have a baby, guys. Like, what are we doing?" So that's where it started. And then I had the people just started showing up on set. But it was once the movie came out, and I think the news had captured Tent City, how many people were camping out for a week, that it really hit that this is going to be huge, and we pray that people like it and receive it well. And then post that, paparazzi were everywhere. Even in Vancouver when we were shooting, it was hard to leave. So we did a lot of bonding inside our hotel rooms. And then, it was this like epic adventure that we got to be a part of. It was really special.
How about for you, Ashley?
Yeah, I was just excited to have a job. I loved the books, but like I also think like nobody knew what it was going to be. I was just excited. I knew that I loved the books, and I knew that I was excited to have one of my first jobs that I ever had. And those two things, I think, gave me something that like is irreplaceable, and why I have so much affinity for the first film and what we were able to create, because this was where we, introduced ourselves to the world as these characters, and we didn't quite know what we were getting ourselves into, and there was such a like naivety there, but there was something like really pure about the whole experience of what we like got to experience together. And then obviously when the first one came out, we knew that this was something much bigger and much different. I mean, to be honest, like whenever I got the role, I asked my manager, I was working at this place called the Belmont restaurant. I was like, so I got this thing, can I come back to work after? And he was like, Ashley, I don't think you're gonna need to come back to work. And I was like, okay, well, but can I? And that was like my mindset going into it, where I was like, this is very cool and I get to be a part of this thing, but like nothing is guaranteed in this space. Like you don't always get to go on and make another film. And so for me, it was just like a very exciting thing to be in that very moment. And then once things started to take off, it like became kind of this like whirlwind of its own.
Peter, for you had been working long before that, so a very different experience for you, I assume. You'd gone through a lot of films. Did it feel different for Twilight, like going into it?
Going into it, no, because it was a smaller like studio. So, I mean, it was kind of an indie movie. Even though it was like a $30 million budget, it was still considered indie because it wasn't like a major studio. So, the first movie was very under the radar. Like I have a fond memory of going to this. It was like a open night mic bar, and Jackson Rathbone and Rob got up and played guitar, and there was nobody in this bar. It was just like the three of us, maybe Rob Pattinson and Jackson Rathbone, a couple of cast members, and it was just us and a few other people, but nobody knew what we were shooting, nobody cared, and it was so amazing to like have that bar just to ourselves. And after the movie, we could never do that again, But it was a blessing. It was a blessing as well, because as an actor, you're like, oh, I hope I do something that's people enjoy, and so when the movie ended, I remember I went to Hawaii right after, because I had to be out of the sun for the movie, otherwise they have to put more makeup on you. It's like the more you're in the sun, the more they kick makeup on you. It's like kabuki theater, and so I was like, so I went to Hawaii and I was walking down the beach and all these people were reading Twilight books. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I was like, the whole beach was reading Twilight. And then I was like, I swam out to this deck in the middle of like, you swim out in the ocean. It's like, and I was out there by myself, and these two teenage girls were swimming. They go, are you playing Carlisle? And I was like, that's weird. How do you know that? They were like, there's this thing called the internet. So then the movie came out, and by the time the movie came out, there was this snowball effect, and people were camping out for like 3 days for the Twilight premiere, which was so exciting and so nerve-wracking, because I was like, oh man, if they don't like this movie, we're gonna be run out of town with pitchforks, and like our careers are over. Like they're gonna be so angry, this happy crowd that's excited is gonna be angry. And so I was like, I'm just praying that they liked it. And then, obviously, I think you guys did, because we're still here. Today is the anniversary of the premiere of Twilight, 17 years. So, what a wonderful way to celebrate this anniversary, with you guys. What an incredible ride. What an incredible ride.
That's awesome. So I want to talk about some of my favorite scenes that y'all are in, and one of the ones that I think sticks out from the original film would be the baseball scene. So, were any of you terrible at baseball and needed some training? And I'd love to hear about some of the stunt work. I think were you doing your stunt work? Was there wire work? How'd all that go? Let's start with Kellan.
Yeah, I love, when I booked the job, Ashley again helped me with that. She's like, I'll pick Kellan. But Catherine's like, go straight to baseball training. I'm like, we're doing that already. So we get there, and I love playing sports. I love doing anything with action and doing stunts. So it was just fun. It was really cool. I think each one of us. It's not like we played a baseball game. I wish we did.
We played indoor baseball.
You
for
guys
like a
did that
week.
before.
Oh, you came
yeah.
up later
For training. So
right?
you guys did.
We trained for like a week and we played baseball for like a week training because the first 3 days of shooting was the baseball scene.
The first three?
The first 3 days.
Wow.
So for a week we were doing this kind of like indoor baseball camp, which was super fun. I played baseball growing up, so I think it was before Kellan came up, and it was fun for me because I was like, I could teach the Cullens how to play because like some of them hadn't played before, and Ashley they had people teaching them too. Ashley was working with a pitcher, and it was just fun to play baseball. And then Kellan came up. Then you joined. I think you had like 2 days with us. Did you ever play with us, or was it like 1 or 2 at the end?
I never did. I don't think I did any of the training.
You never did
stuff.
that.
I think it was that I remember.
You just came in.
But
they knew he was a natural.
Yeah, like, he doesn't need it.
It's like he doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Me
But then
on
the
the
stunts
other
were
end, I did.
really well. As an actor, they ask you like, you play baseball? Yeah, of course I play baseball. You ride horses? Yeah, of course I ride horses.
But do you play vampire baseball?
Yeah, of course I run up trees. Come on, they call me Spider Monkey. It's weird, but that was a lot of fun. And then doing the stunt work, and I love doing stunts with Rob because he wasn't as athletic. So it's just fun when you do takes and you're like, that looked like crap, dude. And then in the movie, he flipped me off and that stuck in it, which was really funny. But yeah, it's fun doing stunts. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Did you get to do most of them yourselves, or did you all have stunt doubles?
Yeah, we
They
did.
couldn't afford stunts.
Yeah, not
on that first one.
All right.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a
They let us
contact
do
lens
whatever we could do,
technician.
yeah.
We didn't even have a contact, like usually they have like a contact lens person that puts your contact lenses in. And so Kellan had a hard time getting his in because he has smaller eyes. So we literally, me and Jackson, we would hold him down and like pry his eyes open while the makeup lady put his contacts in. I felt so bad.
They were red by the time they even like started trying to. Like, he's good. They won't tell.
Oh, that's awesome.
Poke in my eye.
Another scene I love is at the beginning of Breaking Dawn Part 1. The wedding scene is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I imagine that was kind of a reunion for a lot of you because like, every major player or most major players in the franchise were part of that whole scene. So I'd love to hear a bit about that. Do you have any memories of shooting that?
It was muddy and raining.
It was.
I remember, and like, if you looked at the actual ground of it, it was not beautiful whatsoever. But they did a really incredible job creating that scene and making it like a very special, like the twilight lights and everything was gorgeous. But that was like wasn't that the last day of filming on that one particularly? So it's definitely like a bittersweet day for us. I had a great time though because Jackson and I got to swing dance, and I thought it was such a fun moment for Alice and Jasper. There's like a couple of moments within the series and the franchise where we got to see the playfulness between the two of them that I really loved people to get to see. But he really was the like key player in that because he knew how to swing dance, and so he was just kind of like, just follow my lead, and I kind of just let him lead me. And thankfully, like, it's so nice when you can trust a co-star like that and feel safe with someone to just kind of go, okay, I'm gonna do whatever you tell me to do. So I had a blast during the wedding.
Did the vampire pairs ever did you guys break off and kind of work together on scenes, or just kind of building a relationship with each other? Because y'all had partners in the films.
Yeah, I mean, we
were all
rehearsed
together a lot.
We were together a lot.
Yeah.
We were together a lot.
There was like not many times that we weren't together, and like kind of to Kellan's point, like when after the first one specifically, like we couldn't really go out anymore and we couldn't really do a lot of the things, and so we were at Peter's house and he was cooking for us, or we were having kind of like a music jam session at Rob's house.
We
and
played
so
Twilight, the board
did.
game.
Oh, that's awesome.
We did. We were in a hotel room and Kellan brought board games and he brought Twilight, the board game. I was like, we have to play this. And so I thought I would win because like my character is the dad and I knew everybody's backstory. I was like, I bet you it was raining. It was like 1923 and it was, cold, chilly day. And so I kind of made it my thing to know everybody's stuff. So we went to play the game and Ashley won. I think she cheated because she was there like, her like power of like.
Sure.
She was like seeing the future, but I lost because I didn't know any of the high school kids' names. Like a real dad. like I know none of my kids' names. Like, oh, my daughter's like, that's my best friend for 4 years. I was like, oh, I don't know her name. So like as the dad, Carlisle's like, all the high school kids stumped me. I was like, oh man.
That's awesome. Now, listen, I love myself a good horror movie. We're at Creep It Real. I assume there's a lot of horror fans here as well, but I gotta tell you, one of the most disturbing scenes I've ever seen in a film
Renesmee.
is the birth of Renesmee. That is twisted.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Oh, it's really disturbing. I'm forgetting, were all of you on set for that one? I believe Peter and Kellan were.
Yeah.
Ashley, you were as well. Do you have any memories of that? And like, were you shocked at
We
how
tried
it
not
turned
to
out?
think about it.
Wasn't as disturbing to shoot as it
So
was
disturbing.
To see.
I don't
It was
even
the worst.
understand why they had that, because like they could have just used like a real like person with dots. You know what I mean?
I'm not
It was
even
like a
talking
wooden
about the
doll.
baby.
It was like a little Pinocchio.
I'm talking about like the
animatronic
giving
thing.
birth.
Oh,
like
that.
the
Oh, I'm talking about the doll.
No,
the
I'm not talking about
animatronics. They had this animatronics doll
It was
that
all a
was
bit
so
creepy.
creepy. Like there's Chucky and then there's Renesmee.
They
I don't
call
know.
her-
I know which one's scarier for me.
They call her Chuck Esme.
They call it Chuck Esme.
Chuck Esme. That's great.
You were talking about the back.
I was actually like watching the film and seeing like what
Oh,
was
yeah.
happening to Bella. Like it's really pretty disturbing.
I wasn't there.
You weren't there.
I don't know why Carlisle wasn't there because he's a doctor,
doctor,
so you
yeah.
think he would be there.
Yeah.
But like most doctors, they say they're going to be at the birth, but then they're never there. Right? They're always like, yeah, we'll be there, and then they're like off on vacation, and then you got this new person that you've never met before.
It's like
I don't
some
know why they do
trauma.
Kellan, were you on set for that?
I blacked it out. I have no idea.
Do you remember that we played with the doll? Like what Bella?
We got in trouble.
We got in trouble for playing with the life-size Bella doll because it had this like life-size Bella doll in the back, and I don't know, we were all hanging out there waiting for like our scene, and we were like picking its nose and like doing selfies with it. We were laughing because it looks just like her,
It's, like, very
but
skinny
it
and
was
gaunt.
a life-size doll of Bella. So we were all kind of like having weird poses on our faces, you know. And then the producers, I guess the security guard told the producers, and they came and they were like, "We need your phones." I was like, "What? Why?" They're like, "Because we know you were taking pictures, and it's like a plot point." And I was like, "Well, we've never leaked any, stuff." So they wiped our phones because they were afraid that it was going to get out, like the doll, the life-size Bella doll, or maybe some weird poses were going to get out. I don't know.
I was literally going to say, like, we need a Chuck Esme
Yeah.
Instagram account at this point. Like, dig through those photos. That'd be great. I remember seeing the final film at the Cinerama Dome in Hollywood, and one of the things that was like this is a weird thing to point out, but a delightful surprise to me was the end credits, and how it didn't just credit, like when they showed the photos of y'all, it wasn't just crediting that film, it was crediting everybody in the saga. And I think it's really, really beautiful, even folks from the past films. Did you know that was coming? Do you remember seeing that? Peter's giving me a look of, I don't even remember
No,
this.
I was just
You
thinking about it. I
remember
think
that,
I saw it one time, but I was just getting nostalgic actually.
Oh, yeah,
I was
no,
getting a
it's
look of
beautiful.
nostalgia, like, oh yeah, I remember that. It was really sweet.
I
I
know, it
remember
was
the
re-
music, and it was like very touching.
Yeah, I was even rewatching it recently. I was just like touched by it. I was like, oh yeah, that's such a, I don't know, maybe some other, I'm not like a Marvel guy or anything, but maybe other franchises do that, but I had never seen that before. I was like, I love that they included like the full franchise. I think that's great. So.
Well, it was fun watching everybody kind of grow up because it was a 7-year period. One of the things I love about this movie is I feel so humbled, like being a part of people's childhood memories because they grew up like watching it with their best friends or their moms or their dads took them, or they went to the midnight premiere, and like being part of something that that was so bonding for so many people, and I feel like it's such a comfort movie. So it's like if you're having a bad day, like Carlisle's prescription is just press play, watch the movie, see Twilight, call me in the morning. But it is one of those movies that just makes people like, because that's that comfort food,
Yeah.
So it was fun to watch. I was thinking about watching the end credits and seeing everybody kind of grow up over those 7 years, even though vampires don't age.
Totally.
Now, I have personally gone to Oregon and Washington and visited a bunch of the locations, which was so much fun. But I know after, that was only the first film, right? Then you went to Canada for the rest? Do you have any thoughts or opinions on that? Do you wish you stayed in Oregon and Washington, or did you have a preference with one over the other? Let's start with Kellan.
Well, Peter and I, we just hosted this Forever Forks one a couple weeks ago, September. And you read the books, and I assumed we had shot there because everything's like, oh, this is da-da-da. Or you watch the movies, and you're like, oh, yeah. And nothing was shot there at all. And I'm like, this is blowing my mind. But they actually had the Bella house from the book. They found a house that had the wraparound patio deck. And then Peter and I, we got to walk through. And Ash, I think you might be doing it
Next year.
next year.
Yeah, me
You gotta
and
check
me and
out. They
Jackson.
So
do
this is in the
reenactment
actual
scenes.
Forks, Washington.
In Forks, yeah.
Of course.
It's
If
like
you
very
guys, if you haven't
dedicated
gone,
to
go.
Twilight.
It's very magical.
Yeah,
Like,
it's pretty cool.
I mean, going to La Push is cool.
Push.
Yeah.
The
It's
push,
La Push,
baby.
baby.
The push,
Yeah.
baby.
No threats there.
We were
walked-
totally geeking out. Kellan and I, he had a Jeep that he rented, and we were like going through trees. We had the soundtrack on. And at one point, Kellan goes, "Oh, that's where they killed one of the vampires." I was like, "What? Where?" I was like, "We didn't shoot here, did we?" I fell for it.
You got pulled over.
Yeah. Oh, I got
Driving
pulled
too
over
fast.
for going too fast.
Did you really?
So the cop pulled me over. He's like, you were speeding. I say, I'm a Cullen. It's our thing. It's our thing. He let us go. Superpowers. See?
You've mentioned Catherine Hardwicke a couple times, but you worked with several different directors throughout the series. I would just love to hear if you have any thoughts on the other directors you've worked with.
Yeah, it was really special because every book is so unique, and I love how they chose the directors for each one. I mean, Eclipse is really dark, and you have David Slade doing that, and Bill Condon doing Breaking Dawn, and Chris
beautiful.
White's. What's that?
Yeah, which is beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. So they're all different. I love that. Like thinking back about how they chose those people to do it, and then the filters for the movies, and how just different yet collectively put together. It's this beautiful adventure everyone gets to go on.
Yeah, it was definitely
loved it.
I love too that every director and people came on and had their own vision and their own spin on things, and they were really respectful of the castmates that had been there since the beginning of it, but wanted to find ways to kind of bring new experiences and bring new sides of the character perhaps. And so it was a really nice kind of refreshing thing that people got to come in and really collaborate with everyone to make something new and special each time.
Yeah, that's what when you watch the film, like the first one has like this bluish tone, and then it gets golden, and then it gets a little darker, like the saturated blacks and reds with the clips gets darker. So it's like every director just brought its own kind of feeling and tone to it. I mean, the directors were always kind of nervous coming in because it's like they're taking over this thing, and then you have this family that's already kind of, bonded, and so learning their style and learning how you could service them was interesting, and then seeing the final product, it was really cool.
Was Stephanie Myers, the author, was she involved with the filming at all? I mean, I know she makes cameo in the first one, but did she, that you know of, speak with the directors or anything for each of the films?
She was
Yeah,
for
I
the
think
first
she was
one.
pretty involved, yeah.
And then for the last one, she would come to set sometimes. Not as much. I don't think she was there every day for like the second and third, but she was definitely there. You could feel her presence.
Yeah.
How weird, cringy was it to rehearse fighting a computer animated wolf? Kellan?
I mean, technology's grown a lot significantly from then. But yeah, a lot of Emma had more action than I think dialogue. So it was really fun to actually get to set and be like, all right, I get to do some fun stuff. And then they're like, okay, go wrestle that cardboard cutout. And you're like, I swear, I thought they were punking me so much on these movies. Because like I get there, Twilight, we have no fangs. And I'm like, I know they don't have fangs in the book, but this is a movie, right? Vampires have fangs and no fangs, so that kind of caught me off guard. But then, yeah, wrestling the cardboard cutouts, or we had these bean bags with hair and
like
like
sacks of flour.
like throw them at you and be like, react! Oh, and you catch this giant hairball.
At least we didn't have to react to, I feel like Kristen with Taylor when he had to be in that like onesie jumpsuit.
That was harder for them.
That's just like,
remember
I
those
don't
days.
care how professional you are. Like, that's just embarrassing and weird and uncomfortable. And so I'm very thankful we didn't have to do that.
So he wore one of the green leotards and she had to pet him?
I
or-
never saw the
I think I remember
Yeah,
but-
it's just
He,
like
comes
his
up to
face,
her.
sort of like a onesie. He had to pretend like he was the werewolf, and she was like petting his head. It's bizarre footage.
Yeah. Some stuff you like hope never sees the light of day, but it did.
You kind of have to commit. That's what I found. Like, you got to commit 110% with green
Yeah.
screen, because if you or you feel silly or something, it shows.
Yeah.
And I remember we were on the porch once, and I think it was Eclipse, and they were throwing these like flour sacks at us. And they were supposed to be the werewolves, you know. And I look over, and they're all laughing hysterical. And I was just like, guys, come on, we gotta rallying the troops. We gotta pretend they're real here. But we did. We got it. I think we
Got
did a
through
good
it.
job. It's hard. It's not easy. Sometimes you want to laugh.
That's awesome. So obviously the vampires in the world of Twilight have special powers, and I'm curious with each of you, if you could choose one to have in real life, which power would you want, Kellan?
I don't remember all the powers though.
But just like any ever.
I just
or
want to
within
fly,
the-
so I mean, I wish we were able to do that.
You'd rather what?
I want to fly.
Oh, you want to fly?
If we could turn
I
into
wanna turn into a
bats.
bat and just-
Yeah, we could turn into
Oh,
bats.
okay.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
mine would be flying too. If we're not like bound to what they do in the movie, like one of those choices, I think flying would be really freeing. Because I always felt like Alice's future, being able to see the future, was very cool. But also, in life, like part of the beauty is not knowing what's happening in the future, and also it would drive me insane knowing something and then it can course correct or something could change. Like I feel like I would have a hard time not always looking into the future. So I think flying would be cool.
Very cool.
I'll tell you what I wouldn't want to be able to read people's minds, because that would be really Cat. Really?
You don't wanna be
I'd be
there.
like, really? That's what you think of me? Really? So not reading people's minds is a good thing. The future seeing would also be stressful, right? I wouldn't want to get out of bed. I'd be like, today's not a good day. There's a lot of things I wouldn't want. Flying would be good, maybe. Compassion is my superpower. I don't know if that's a superpower, because you can't really smite the bad guys with compassion. You know, if they're coming at you, you can't be like, hey, I will be so compassionate that you will disappear or something. Like, so what do you do? I could have had compassion and had super strength or something, like, you know, fly. I could fly and have compassion. That would have been cool.
All right. So when did you all start taking part in events like this? Like when the films were still coming out, was it too crazy of a fandom to even approach something like this? Or when did that all start for you?
Yeah, I feel like in the beginning it was a little like I think we tried to do a couple of things, but there were like I have memories of when I was with Rob doing a press thing overseas. Like we had some event and they broke down the barricades, and like it became very clear that it was sometimes a little too dangerous, and I think it would have been too chaotic to do it. And so like a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 years ago, did we start doing these? And it's been really lovely because we didn't always get to have the at-length fan the conversations and the interactions that we get to have here, and it's really like beautiful that this far down the road we get to actually sit with people and hear and understand how it impacted their life, and what a beautiful thing Twilight's been for so many people. And so we didn't get to have it then, but we're trying to kind of like make up for that now.
What's been your favorite one? Say Creep It Real. Say Creep It Real.
This one,
Creep It
obviously.
Real. I'm gonna creep it real right now. I'm gonna keep it real.
I'm not gonna lie, I have said a million times over, I'm like, this is really cool. They've done such a good job. It's such a fun experience overall, and like I love that it's outside, and there's something like you have different energies at different conventions that you go to, and this one's just such a beautiful energy. So it is, we're not lying. It
Well,
is
listen,
really my favorite.
I'm gonna no BS here. I've done a lot of these sorts of things, and you three have been like amazing. I've been watching you interact with the fans, and you've been awesome. And
Thank
Kellan's
you.
been eating a lot, so he's really happy.
The food's been amazing here. I've tried almost every vendor. Thank you guys.
Well, it goes two ways. I mean, the fans have been so incredible. I've had such great conversations. We've all had we were talking about it today or yesterday. We were like, the conversations have been so wonderful, the one-on-one. Because when you're doing the movies and you have the premieres, you're kind of on the inside of this bubble, and everybody's like, yay, on the outside, like looking in. But when you get to do fan events like this, like, we get to meet you one-on-one, and it's really been a treat to really, spend time with you guys. So I appreciate you guys coming out.
So there has been this social media clip going around. I don't know if you saw it, but Jennifer Lawrence asked Robert Pattinson whether he would return to the Twilight franchise if asked. And honestly, I was shocked. He was like very quickly like, yes, absolutely. And that surprised me. Just going down the line, Kellan, what would your answer be if Jennifer Lawrence, not me, asked you whether or not you'd return to the Twilight franchise?
Yeah, if I'd play Bella, yeah. Drops back. Bella.
Where the hell you been, Luca?
No, I love Emmett. I always, and we talk about it all the time, that if Stephanie ever wished to continue with like the Cullen Chronicles, or you have Renesmee and Jacob go off somewhere, and we could do a TV show or another book. There's so much more that this universe could become, and I'd love to come back for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I've said this a million times. All of you that I've met, I'm like, oh my God, I would play her again in a heartbeat. She was one of my, if not my favorite character that I've ever played, and to live in her space felt like such an honor. And it was such you don't always get to live in such a like optimistic, authentic character and get to come to work every day and just genuinely enjoy the space that you're in. And so I had such a joy playing her, and I absolutely agree with Kellan. Like, I think all of our backstories are so fascinating that there's such opportunity to explore that and kind of visit, where these characters were then, and also like what we're doing 100 years from now. So I think, absolutely, would love to.
It's been a real treat because a lot of times as an actor, you don't get to explore a character for that long. You can do sometimes when you do a TV series but this one we got to explore for 7 years and many films, and so there's a part of me that misses that character, and I would love to continue. So I think also we're all fans of this whole franchise too. Like we were when we were in Forks, they had these actors that were doing cosplay Cullens, and I was like, oh man, look at them. That's Carlisle. He's so tall. He's so handsome. And so I get giddy when I see the franchise, but I see things from the franchise and the little memes. I send memes to them all the time. They're like, stop sending us memes. 3 o'clock in the morning. Egg word memes. So I love this franchise, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. And so if someone was like, hey, would you do an encore and get to work with these guys again? Of course, yeah.
Have you ever seen anybody cosplay as Charlie? I love Charlie.
Yes.
Team Charlie!
Charlie is like the unsung hero. That character. Oh.
He's so funny, man.
I mean, I've seen the females dress up as Charlie and Carlisle, and it's wonderful. It's amazing.
That's cool. Have you guys kept any wardrobe or props from the film? Did you steal anything from set? Or I guess do it with permission, maybe. Kellan?
I took my bracelet, but then Hot Topic made better bracelets. So I'm like, this looks cheap. And all the jewelry that Hot Topic or Target, the ring, the Bella's ring was really nice. I threw my contacts away as quickly as I could. I thought I could out-lose them all and they'd run out of budget. Nope. The movie's got more money and I got more contacts.
I wanted to keep one of my wigs and they said no. And so then I did not ask and I took my necklace because I really wanted, that was an important piece to me. And then there is a ring that I decided with wardrobe that we created this backstory for it. It didn't exist in the books, but it's a silver ring with a black heart and a diamond in the middle, and I decided that was a ring that Jasper gave Alice. So I took that with me because it was really special.
I stole the Renesmee doll.
Did you take your head?
Where's your head, Peter?
That keeps me up at night sometimes. I'll wake up, where's my head? Where's my head? I think they probably repurposed my head and it's getting kicked around on Games of Thrones or one of those movies. You're just gonna see a head roll. You're gonna. I think that's Carlisle.
Yeah. Did you ever think you were gonna have a Barbie?
Yeah, but no. But going back to the hair, why did we change Did we choose to, or did the director choose to change? Because a lot of like Jackson hated his hair, the first one. I think you did something
I bleached my hair for the first one. I liked that one the best because that was my hair. And then the second movie, we only shot for like a week. So I was like, I don't want to. I was also shooting Nurse Jackie at the same time, so I had to wig it on that one. And then, then the lady was like, every movie they were like, your wig on the last one was terrible. We're gonna fix it. But every movie it got worse. And even on the second one, the lady was like, your wig on the last one was terrible. I was like, that was my real hair? I don't even know how to take that. That was just insulting. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, there was a fascination with people just wanting to change all of our hair.
But mine changed. I had they would change mine.
I don't know why. I think every person that came in that was the hair person wanted to make it their own thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't there one that like kept wanting to push your hair down?
Yes,
in front
the
of your
last
face?
one, she kept like pushing my hair down. I was like, that's not Carlisle. She's like, yeah, but it looks better. I was like, no, it doesn't. And so every time she walked away, they were like, action, and I would swoop it back, and she'd run in, and it was a tug of war. So I was like, push it back, and she'd come down, and I'd be like, and then she left, and then half the movie I have it up, and half the movie I have it down. I look like little boy Fauntleroy. I was like, what's going on? And it's just like, and I said, people are gonna look at, they're not gonna blame you, they're gonna blame me. And I look at those pictures, I'm like, I should have kept fighting on that one.
That's why they cut your head off. That's right.
And they were like, just cut his head off.
No continuity, just off with his head.
So before we get going here, I want to play a little game with y'all. If you all might recall, Twilight, the fandom was so huge that there was a little, not spin-off, but there was an inspired by book series called 50 Shades of Grey. And so I have some quotes here, and it's either a quote from the book Twilight or 50 Shades of Grey. And we're going to see how well you know your Twilight book. How about that, okay? So
From the book or the movie?
The book.
Oh,
These are from the books.
Okay.
So I have not seen the movie 50 Shades of Grey. But in any case, the first quote is, his look is so intense, half in shadow and half in the bright white light from the landing lights. Dark night and white night. It's a fitting metaphor for him. He looks strained, his jaw is clenched and his eyes are tight. He unfastens his seatbelt and reaches over to unbuckle mine. His face is inches from mine. Down the line, 50 Shades or Twilight?
I'm gonna go 50 Shades.
Yeah,
I think 50 Shades.
Too.
What do you guys think?
50 Shades.
That is 50 Shades of Grey.
That's way too much
That
detail.
was a good one.
Yeah.
Listen, we started
Sounds
easy.
like the Baldo scene, like what she's thinking in her head, but I don't think anything's ever said.
Like Edward's never reached over for a seatbelt.
I realized there were tears in my eyes. I dabbed at them, embarrassed. He touched the corner of my eye, trapping one I missed. He lifted his finger, examining the drop of moisture broodingly. Then, so quickly I couldn't be positive that he really did, he put his finger to his mouth to taste it.
50 Shades.
I gotta go with 50 Shades. Otherwise, Edward's way weirder than we thought.
I don't remember him eating her tears. 50 Shades.
What do you guys?
50? Is it Bella?
50.
It's Twilight.
Edward!
He tasted her.
He tasted it in the book. Yes. Okay, this is the last one we say.
I'm gonna have a word with my son on that one.
Midnight Sun, come on.
This is the final quote. I lightly trailed my hand over the perfect muscles of his arm, followed the faint pattern of bluish veins inside the crease at his elbow. With my other hand, I reached to turn his hand over. Realizing what I wished, he flipped his palm up in one of those blindingly fast, disconcerting movements of his. It startled me. My fingers froze on his arm for a brief second.
That's when Rosalie met it, guys.
What do you think?
That's a tough
I'm
one.
gonna go 50 Shades of Grey just because.
You said muscular? I can't. I can't picture Edward muscular because of the movies, but. What do you guys think? I'm gonna phone some friends. Yeah. 50? We're gonna go 50.
That's why Genesis. I'm there with you. I feel like it has to end with Twilight. So I'm saying Twilight.
Really?
Ashley, what do you think?
I said 50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey?
Yeah.
It is Twilight.
Damn
Yeah. So there we go. You survived the game. Good job.
I think we lost, but
We totally lost.
Did you
that.
have fun?
yes,
Then
that's
you
all that
won.
matters.
I have more fun when I win. Give us one more.
I don't have one up.
Ask us about our characters, okay?
Anything you want to mention that you're currently working on or something coming out before we head out of here?
Ashley
just
and I
did a
just did a
rom-com.
movie.
Oh, great.
I directed Ashley in an amazing rom-com, and it's her and Seth Green. It'll be out next year. She's really sweet, really cute, really funny in it. Really, really proud of her. Proud dad here.
Pretty
You
excited.
guys gonna watch it? Make sure you watch it.
Yeah.
Good.
When are we gonna get a Twilight reunion for like a Hallmark Christmas movie?
Oh my
Isn't
God.
that having a Cullen's Christmas? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix.
That'd be fun. I just watched the Joe Jonas ones.
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah.
Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
It was really good. It
They
was
did
really
a
good.
Christmas movie?
They did it.
Yeah.
Jonas Brothers. Yeah.
Disney
Like,
Plus.
everyone's doing Christmas movies,
We
but
should-
like they're kind
we
of
should do
amazing. They remind me, like anytime I
done
do
so
a Christmas
well.
movie, it reminds me of Alice because of that like world that they live in, where they're like you're mad but not too mad, and like you're bothered but not too bothered. But it's just like a wonderful world to live in. Yeah, they're fun. So you never know. Maybe we'll do one next year.
Final question.
Yeah.
Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I'm Team Edward, but if my daughter, I want Team Jacob. Date the nice guy, not the.
I'm Team Jasper, obviously. All day, every day.
Oh man. I'm gonna go Team MA because my boys here today.
Fantastic. Well, guys,
Team Alice.
Thank you guys.
And Carlisle. Well, thank you so much for being here. This was so much fun. Thank you all for joining us. That's going to do it. They're going to go do some photos soon after this. Then they're going back to do the autographs and the selfies. Enjoy the rest of your time
There's
here
a
at Creep It Real
possibility.
Festive.